Hello, everyone. And today we continue our Raiders playthrough. Oh yeah, I already did all that. I don't even know why was I even gonna look at all that stuff? We need to keep doing all of the levels that we, have to do. So yes, this game is pretty new. It came out like late last month, I want to say. I've been playing way too much Splatoon, the whole series, and it eventually got to the point where I was like, I think getting this game is mandatory, even if at first I didn't feel that inclined to actually get it for various reasons. That's significantly closer than anything we did during last stream for this raid, but we're still a bit away from being able to actually do anything. We need more power eggs. We're much closer to where we need to be. And then I proceeded to kind of blow it. That could have been the successful attempt, but then at the end I kind of very badly whiffed. Let's see here. What do we... You know, the one thing here about Raiders is it's very different than the mainline Splatoon games. That is Splatoon 1 through 3. But honestly, the different experience, I think, doesn't make it worse. I think it's a strength, honestly. I still probably would prefer, you know, if the multiplayer modes existed. But I do think that this is probably the best single-player campaign they've ever done in the series. Okay, a death midway through is not ideal at all. Yeah, that. And congrats on being third. Today's first, second, and third were definitely not the most normal combination. Might be able to salvage this, even with a dash. We failed that, but honestly, if we didn't take the death, that would have been a success. So we just need to do what we did, but no death. Oh, of course, then I instantaneously do the thing I said that I can't do. Hello, Eros. I have bad news for you. You cannot claim first, second, or third. They have all been taken. I know, but congrats on being quote-unquote first. At least you can feel, you know, somewhat better about yourself. I hope you realize that I put first in air quotes for the redeem that arrows use. Which means that it isn't, like, it doesn't count. It's just a redemption that exists to make people feel better about themselves. And then we finally beat this level. Is the... Yeah, I don't know what's going on there. It should be working. And hello, dead beetle. I wonder how you found this stream. And thank you for the follow. Follows are anonymous, but they are equally appreciated here. Let's see here. You meant to follow me before, but you forgot. No worries. I don't expect anyone to follow this stream. Same. I can't say that I'm much better. You know, I sometimes forget that I stream, and I'm the streamer. Okay, not, like, completely true, but... If you look at my stream frequency, you will understand what I'm talking about. A slosher? I mean, I don't know if I care about sloshers that much, because they're not my favorite weapon type. They're not my least favorite either, but I don't care for them. I like how you're going to say that you're lazy for that when when the amount of effort I put into it is near zero. And how the only reason that you still have access to it is I didn't delete it. And I say that kind of seriously, because there are plenty of things I've started and then abandoned and never bothered, and then like just eventually deleted the things because I needed space for something else. It's not that I actually did think about deleting it, but that kind of thing can and sometimes does happen. Because, like, I did, like, the Mario U version of the Coinless Challenge for 5 minutes, but you can't see any evidence that I ever did it. There's no evidence of that, other than one save file on my Wii U. And that save file only exists because I don't bother to do anything. I'm not gonna delete it now. We've passed that point of no return forever ago. I did, that Cloudy 2 stream does exist, yes, but I'm talking about the time that I did base Mario U Coinless. Because I did at least attempt World 1 of New Super Mario Bros. U Coinless. And hello, Frog Moon. Really? See, this is my memory, why my memory should never be trusted. And hello, Karatsu, and congrats on being quote-unquote first. And also Frog Mooned as well. For the... That's the fake first redemption for both of you, so you're not actually first. That's just something I create to mess with people. And also to pay tribute to a certain moderator. Because I didn't get the idea for a fake first redemption myself. The fake first redemption, as I've said multiple times, the first time I saw it was in Hey on Gamer's stream, and he's a mod here, and so when I was creating channel point redemptions, that was one of the redemptions I stole. Because some of my channel point redemptions are unique. But a lot of them are ideas that I took or appropriated for myself. I don't do that because it feels unnecessary. And because the real point of it is to give the people who come in later one of those kinds of redemptions they can use if they want. I don't know, I also don't want there to be too many redemptions. That's the wrong game, Shiratsu. We're not playing the game where that redemption is applicable. Also, I barely play Mario Maker on stream anyway, so I wouldn't exactly put your hopes up for redeeming that. And then Mineko redeems the quote-unquote first redemption. Now, if you want me to play Mario Maker, you very much can. Because there is a redemption that for 50,000 channel points would make me switch to Mario Maker. The only detail with the redemption that costs 50,000 channel points is that I only play one specific level. Are you really halfway there to 50,000? Because if so, I am alarmed. The reason is the level in question No, Karatsu, there's a redeem to play the level No Landing Mecha Koopa, which is a level my brother made. It has a clear rate of like 0.1%. And if you have 50k, you can make me play that level. Now, yes, if you want me to just play Mario Maker in general, and not just that level, you would need 150k. I don't think it's until I beat it. Let me see what the terms say. The terms say I spend 5 minutes on the level or until I beat it. Because the level is kind of obnoxious. And it could take me the entirety of the rest of that stream to beat it. Yes and no. So No Landing Mecha Koopa, it's an NSMBU airship night, and you basically spin jump off of Mecha Koopas repeatedly. And you can't touch the ground. Yes, the level is terrifying. It's the hardest level he's ever made. For now. Assuming we ever clear check the harder one. Because he has made a harder level. Just, it's currently not online because it's too difficult for either of us to beat. I mean, I might play that, I don't know. It really depends on how I feel. So one thing, Karatsu, is I understand what you're saying, but I don't trust my PC to both stream and play games. I don't trust it. Because I have tried a PC stream before. And let's just say it was not a success. At all. For any reason. I'm gonna upgrade my... Here's the thing. Okay, what I can do is I can change that redeem quickly. So I'm gonna make that choose my weapon. So, but thank you for bringing my attention to that. Choose. You want me to hydrate Frog Moon? I will do that. You don't know any of the weapon names? So you're close to 4K. What are you going to... Oh. You're going to use that redemption? What I would say... I mean, fair, but the implication is that you are. At least, that's how I read that message. I don't know. I might need to investigate that, like, why some messages aren't showing. We need Zaytree. If I know Zaytree's not here, but if Zaytree was here, I would be asking some questions of them right now. Because Zaytree, the developer, I use Slime 2 for my chat, and Zaytree is the developer for that. My guess is I have some, like, misconfigured options somewhere. So that it doesn't... It shows things that it... So it doesn't show certain messages. Yeah, it was a buzzer beater. But historically, the buzzer beaters go against us. Why do I need you? Why do I need a stream for 1,000 years? I'm also not going to be alive for that long. At least I don't intend to be alive for that long. Here's the secret. The point of that redemption is to prevent that outcome from taking place. At least not until the time and place of my choosing. You intend to never face reveal online, and that is understandable. I mean, part of the reason I have that PNGTuber in the first place is because I don't have the intention to necessarily do it either. Yeah, that makes sense, though, because, you know, Leon does not natively speak English. Yeah, that makes sense. There's probably some situation where my face is out there, but it is not tied, crucially, to my online name. Probably don't need to upgrade. Okay, it's just gonna bug me about that, but I don't care about all the other parts. I might when this stream is over, I might do all the upgrades just to save all of you from having to see all that. That is interesting, actually. You know, maybe this is just me being, like, a native English speaker, but I could not imagine learning another language specifically for streaming. I could not. You're making me want to play... I mean, fair enough. I do think this is based a bit off of Salmon Run, but I'm not really sure, because Salmon Run is the mode of Splatoon I have played the least. Okay, that's not entirely true, I guess. Because the least is probably every equivalent to League mode, which I have never done. Funny that you mention that, because so I have never taken any German classes, but my parents did, actually, Leon. And in fact, one of my parents, they had a, like, exchange classes in Germany. And I'm not making this up either, Leon. This is a very real thing. Really? I mean, that does make sense, Mineko, because I can't imagine that... But... watching, like, media in a foreign language, I've been told, is, like, a pretty good way to become fluent in that language. Newbie has returned! So now I need to make sure I have the Google Translate tab ready. I think the reason why watching, like, foreign media helps you learn a language is you immerse yourself in it. You could not have Leon, because the exchange class that one of them took, only one of them, not both, happened well before I was ever an idea, much less, you know, anything else. And, you know, speaking of our, you know, language tangent, you know, Newbie is a great example of what happens when you immerse yourself in a foreign language. Because, you know, most of the streams Newbie watches on this site are Portuguese ones. I cannot. I need to know how and why you know Latin, Beetle. Because, you know, Latin's a dead language. Huh? Oh, that explains a lot. I mean, Portuguese is a Romance language, so it does make sense. I decline to answer your question, Leon. I mean, knowing a few words in a different language isn't that unusual. You know, one of my IRL friends, they like to play GeoGuessr, and so they know, like, they can't really, like, speak or understand Russian, but they know the Cyrillic alphabet. And, you know, one time, I kind of playfully tried to accuse them of being a Russian spy because of this fact. I mean, what did Newbie say? I feel like there's a non-zero chance that in a few years from now, this stream is buried from the record books. Just because of everything that I have said. But we'll just ignore this fact. I like how Leon is dissuading Newbie from learning his own language. You know, I believe you, but I just... You've told me that, Newbie. You are physically incapable of doing it. True. When you told me that, I think Leon wasn't present. You know, the simple solution is to just abolish your autocorrect for all of eternity. Okay, I know why there's practical reasons why that would be a terrible idea. You regret turning it off? I mean, understandable, really. Yeah, I can see why you have autocorrect now. You're on PC. I mean, usually, like, it will, like, underline the word saying it's incorrect. interesting. I mean, that is reasonable, although your phone probably has to deal with the fact that you are, to some degree, bilingual. And I feel like your autocorrect probably isn't the biggest fan of that. Because I have heard in the past about that being an issue. How does it handle it? I'm assuming not well. That sounds annoying. Like, really, really annoying. Oh yeah, the AI dubbing feature. Yeah, that is annoying as well. Yeah, that sounds... I've heard similar things to what Newbie said. Whatever happens after this sub-level, we're going to be taking an ad break. And one thing I want to say, because I don't know if everyone knows this, Twitch has tried to auto-opt-in all streamers to have, like, their streams and stuff put into an AI database. It's really annoying. Now, don't worry, I specifically opted out of all of that nonsense because I am not letting, you know, any AI database use my streams. I won't. But we do have to take an ad break because the ads are going to start, like, right now. So, see you all in 3 minutes. And we are back. So one thing I want to clarify with the channel art is, so AngelRoseStar made the PNGTuber that I use the static emotes, so all the, all the good emotes, and also the profile picture I currently use. Now, there are some things I used that were not made by her. The animated emotes slash... you used the lurk emote there. I don't blame you, it's not the most obvious one, I will admit. Now, the Luma set was pre-made. It was not a set that I commissioned. The PNGTuber and profile pictures were commissioned specifically. Yes, I have a thing that tracks how long you were lurking, and apparently you were lurking for 41 seconds. I don't even know why I added that thing, because I just kind of saw it one day and was like, I'm gonna add this, and I didn't really think about it too much. And I've never considered getting rid of it, because getting rid of it is too much work. That is where you are watching the stream but aren't chatting, and then Beetle types it right as I'm saying it. You know, there's one person who has never chatted here, and I'm not going to name them in case they're here. Who, I've seen them lurk in this channel before. They have never said a word, but because of how often that they've been a lurker, they are a VIP, so... every stream, there's a non-zero chance that someone enters the chat for the first time, who is also a VIP. You know, I have a conspiracy theory, you know, me and Beetle share the same brain cell. From... I mean, I don't think it's a bad thing, to be honest. Because, you know, Dill's a pretty chill person. Okay, now I need to shout out 2 different people. If you're not following Dill somehow, you need to. He mostly does Nintendo games. He's done Mario, he does a lot of Pocopia these days, and he also does plenty of non-Nintendo stuff. He is going to be streaming sometime today. You are correct about this information. Now, most of my community follows Dill already. Now, there's some people that don't, but... And the people that don't follow Dill, let's just say they follow a different person that has been a common entry point into this channel. Because if you found me, you probably found me through one of two people. You either found me through Dill, or you found me through Highly Offense. Or you're Charmin and you somehow followed me on the second stream I ever did, but Charmin's the one exception. It's like the one exception to this rule. True! But you're kind of an anomaly that is, like, completely outside of the normal system itself. It's just because you didn't find me on Twitch, is what I'm trying to say. In fact, Leon didn't even have a Twitch account when he found me. I know this attempt is pretty much doomed, but I at least want to get closer to success. A lot of these levels are much harder than the things we did during last stream, or I just, have more of a skill issue than normal, which, that is a thing that happens. Because even if normally I like to do a lot of difficult challenge runs, I don't know what I did to deserve it, but thank you so much, Leon. The person who I'm currently giving my Prime sub to, which is the previously mentioned Bill, but you haven't watched A-Dylite probably. Yeah, you are in the situation where I don't know who else you're giving your Prime sub to. I would say Hey on Gamer because of his role in me becoming affiliate, but Heian hasn't streamed since 2025. Hello, Nivadra. The real Splatoon Raider was inside you all along, if you must say so. I think that you should do whatever you think is appropriate, Leon. Okay. True, Arrows, you haven't streamed in a bit, but, you know, at least you've streamed in 2026. Yes, you have. I'm pretty sure I remember that. True, multi-streaming is a thing, but I don't know if Leon's computer would be able to do that. I certainly know that my computer would probably not handle well. Via the power of Twitch Mobile, it says that the last time Arrow streamed was in May. Yeah, that makes sense. Because from what I've heard, multi-streaming is not a simple thing to do. And also, it also becomes a question of, can your internet handle such a thing? Which I can see a world where your internet might not respond kindly to such activities. Okay, I'm going to... I won't then, but... You have confirmed exactly the kind of thing that I was thinking about. by making that comment. You know, I understand. Most of the time I'm lurking, it is not announced. I am not good at announcing that. I can't say that I haven't experienced that myself. There have been plenty of streams that I've done where connection issues were very present. Yes, go do your art, Beetle. Like, you know, the whole reason I have the current PC I use to stream was because of a stream I did where there was a bunch of connection issues. And also because my old PC, let's just say, liked to sometimes not boot properly. Now my current PC has been very good, except for when I've tried to put it through too much. You are used streaming with a wireless connection. I've done that before, for a while, actually, but I don't stream wireless anymore because that is, let's just say, not the best idea. At all. I do not myself. But I'm pretty sure, I think there's at least someone in this audience that does, but I couldn't tell you who they were. I very much know that you do because of what your Discord profile picture is. And let's just say the Wii U themes you make. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I think it's actually cool. But, you know, I do notice and pay attention to the things that people put on their profiles. I don't necessarily check them, it's just that I have sometimes seen them when I'm in that Discord server. You know which one I'm talking about. When I'm looking for potential new themes to install. There we go, it took long enough to beat this. Because periodically I will go through the Theme Cafe Discord to see if there are new Mario Galaxy themes that people have made. New dualies, that... I must equip those. You're still working on it? I mean... that doesn't surprise me. But do note that I will have it installed on my Wii U whenever it is done. Now, will it be my primary theme? I don't know. If it will. Not particularly. What relic power do we want? Tinker. Let's see here. So we have... I will not promise that I will remember to do that. Now, one thing I will say is, when it comes to the Wii U themes I have, that are Mario Galaxy themed, it's gonna be hard for you to create the best Wara Wara Plaza of any of those themes. Like, almost impossible. Because, you know, someone decided to create a Wara Wara Plaza that I like so much that I don't really know how you beat it. I do have the Galaxy themes from the server, but the theme that I think that has the best Wara Wara Plaza is not one that you can find in the server. It was one that was built before Theme Cafe existed. Or one that was made before Theme Cafe was a thing. I don't currently use it as my #1 go-to theme. Because I think that the Comet Observatory theme Radnos made, I think that even if the Wara Wara Plaza is the best, I don't think it has the best menu screen. I think there is a better one. Because, for me, Wara Wara Plaza is not as important. It just isn't. Okay, why am I going up? That's not the way to go. I'm going like the That is true. It's just that... Because I do kind of like when the custom themes feel at least somewhat authentic. And while we're at it, I think it's absurd that Nintendo has not had any special themes for the Switch or Switch 2. I think it's kind of absurd that the Switch and Switch 2 only have light mode and dark mode. Because, like, I'm not even saying the themes have to be free. You can do what you did on the 3DS, which is you made paid themes that people could get in the eShop. I feel like there are all kinds of people who, if Nintendo actually made custom themes for the Switch and Switch 2, would absolutely get them. And that includes me. If there was an official Switch 2 Mario Galaxy theme, I would have it yesterday, if it existed. But for some reason, they don't. What is this treasure here? It's just, the main thing here is if you're gonna make a Mario Galaxy theme for me, I kind of prefer that it be somewhat faithful to the normal Wii U menu. And I think what you've done has been pretty good thus far. I've liked what you've shown me. The Salmonade level is still... Why can't I zoom out more than this? There's also clearly something in the center there, because it's forming a circle of some kind. I would not think of that, but okay then. We'll just ignore the fact that I did whatever I just did there. But here's the thing, though, with Mario Wonder, is... that's pretty obvious from the beginning, sort of. I don't know. No, that's not what it is. You visit the center of the map pretty early, because, you know, Petal Isles is technically the second world you do in Mario Wonder. Although Petal Isles, I feel like, is a very strange world in general. You know, one thing about the new chat that I find a bit silly is how, for users like Leon that don't have a set color, it will just randomly change it with no explanation. Like, just pick a color for Leon and stick with it. I get that Leon hasn't, you know, picked a color. The reason is because for you to have a set color, you have to specifically set it on Twitch itself. Like, as an example, I've set my main account to be blue, and Lost Luma, my bot, is set to green. You have to tell Twitch. Because otherwise, Twitch or anything that pulls from it is just going to pick whatever color it wants. There are multiple different ways to set the color. And how you do it, actually kind of depends on which platform you're watching. So I would honestly just look it up. Now, because you're a Prime user, not only can you pick a general color, you can also pick a specific shade you want. So if you want a very specific blue, you can pick that as an example, which is what I do actually. Because both my main and bot accounts, I use the features that exist to create very specific shades that I like to use for my Excel. No! Twitch Turbo might unlock that feature as well, but I've never had Turbo, and I've always had the ability to use custom colors because of my Prime status. No, they've not changed that. That's been a thing since forever. I've used custom colors in some shape or form for years. Because I've had Prime on my account since forever, really. And one of the very silly things is that the Twitch Prime, it somehow, via transitive properties, is not only does it apply to my main account, but also my bot account. And actually, the fact that Lost Luma has Prime status is the primary reason that account still exists. It's because my main account and Lost Luma, they share the same email address. That's the reason. I used to have a bunch of Twitch alt accounts, but then eventually I started getting rid of all of them because I didn't need all of them. And when I learned that Lost Luma had Prime, I was like, that's the account that's going to be the only alt I keep. Because I had way more alts than I had any reason to justify. And just having a bunch of random alt accounts out there just is not a good idea. For a lot of reasons. That I feel like I shouldn't need to explain. We'll also just ignore how the Lost Luma, that account, is conveniently older than my main account. We'll just ignore this fact. You know, if anyone does account age for my main account and Lost Luma, you will be banned. Okay, not really, but... So the reason that Lost Luma is actually the older account is, I don't really know why exactly, but I was watching a stream one day, and so I created an account, but I didn't really use Twitch that actively. But then I eventually lost the password, and so I had to create a new account. And by the time I regained access to Lost Luma, or what the account that now goes by Lost Luma, I had already established myself on the new account. There's actually a whole other separate side story about how the Lost Luma's account, that account existing, might have contributed to me becoming Star. In a very indirect way, but that's a different story entirely. That, we need to defeat this thing, because that thing is probably why we're getting all the... Were messages not going through, Leon? Because if the messages weren't going through, that's a problem. Clearly it did not, because it is the same as it was before. But also, I've known that sometimes when you change it, it does take a moment for it to update itself. Yes, I've had that happen before. Oh, there's still an enemy. The ads are running. How dare those ads want to run? I don't remember, honestly. Because it was a while ago at this point. It was not any time recently, Mineko. Like, I honestly want to say that the day that happened was before I even followed you. It clearly does not want to work. Now, I don't think we'll be able to finish this level before the app. But I at least want to start it. It's a good thing we upgraded our health, because I probably would have died twice already if I didn't. Thank you for redeeming Paper Star, Frog Moon. And yes, that did in fact change the grand stars in the corner. There we go. Now it is different. Now it is a color the color it's supposed to be. So the ads are going to be in a minute. I don't have enough time to even do one phase of this level, so I'm going to take a break and let the ads run. So I will see you all in a few minutes. And we are back. Time to do... I just realized these are one sub-level things, typically. Not multiple. This one's not at all easy. We only got like halfway there, so this one's gonna... So the main reason I'm using speed right now is I want to power this one up so that eventually I have the, you know, super speed tank. I like how I conveniently forget that those exist, and how each time I remember they do exist is only after I die a bunch of times. But that's probably because in every other Splatoon game, pressing those buttons does nothing. Or at least nothing that useful. You gotta go to bed? Good night, Leon. It feels a little weird for me to say that because in my time zone, it is 2 p.m., but you know, that's just how the internet works. Is some people I meet are going to live in places where it is late. I am all aware of your time zone. You've made me very proficient at converting Pacific time to Central European time. I mean, to be fair, I was kind of already decently okay at that because I'm already okay with Pacific to English time. And so Central European is just that same calculation, but add an hour. Hey, debatable. Okay, we did fail there, but we got pretty close. The death is never ideal. Never. And 2 death definitely is not ideal either. What? Here we can just upgrade. You know what? I'm upgrading my health. I know that I ordinarily wouldn't. But I need as much health as I can get if I'm gonna have any chance to beat this mission. don't I don't particularly like it, but I think this is survivable at least. We just need one more. There we go. That's what we needed. Oh, I'll do some construction now that you have. Shiver. I'll break some weapons down because there are some weapons that I don't need. I don't need this. What I'm going to do is I'm only going to scrap duplicates. Because I don't need a bunch of duplicate weapons laying around. So... Especially since we can only have 300 weapons, I think it is important that we don't allow duplicates. Okay, those are different. I only have one of these. So let's choose the perfume squeeze one. The main reason I'll keep lower level versions that have more stars is those could be more useful later. But maybe there'll be a way where we can add more stars to weapons later. In which case, we can then promptly get rid of that. But until then, I'm just gonna operate under the assumption that I can't do that. Okay, we don't need... I want to know when I can upgrade the ship to be level 3. That seems like an absurdly easy mission for, like, no reason. Like, I should have been doing this. I should have done this raid first. Maybe it's just I have all the right upgrades or stuff, but that felt much easier than the one we were doing previously. Nope. We can't upgrade this. Is there any more of these that... Okay, yeah, we don't have anywhere near enough of anything to be able to... Probably because I've been too busy developing parts for the ones I do have, but... How am I going to remember your souvenir when you launch me like that? Also, we need Gallifreyan to come in at some point and ask us how much force, you know, would be applied in that situation. This is the most stressful time to, you know, potentially take a death is when the timer's slowly ticking. And then we die here. Now this is potentially a problem. And then we lose by 2 power eggs. You know, playing this has made me realize that I need to play much more of the salmon run mode. Because, again, it was the mode I played the least of all the Splatoon modes that exist. That one I could have gotten, but the ending was really bad. What do you want? Oh, okay then, so... What do you want now? We need more... We need to be able to deal more damage with our weapons. Now, technically, one thing I could do is I could open this up to other people, because online co-op does exist for raiders, but I'm probably not doing that until I beat the main story. And that assumes that the Summer Nights Splatfest isn't active before that happens. Because that probably will divert our attention away from raiders. And or I decide I need to start doing more of the challenge runs I haven't done at all recently. One or both of those things will happen. I like how it gives you the message that they're almost full. Like, why does that matter to the point it needs its own announcement or, like, message? There we go, we finally advanced to the 3rd sub-level. I can't skip this, you're right, because this is the first time I've seen it. See, this is why I waited to use that thing, because I knew it would be very overpowered. So I used it against the thing that would have been the hardest to defeat. That's a lot of gold. Or that's a lot of relic value, I guess. Let's see here. Wait, we don't need that weapon, so we can scrap it. Oh. That's a lot to scrap. That's a lot to get from scrapping that weapon, but it's worth it. Because I don't want to be told one day that I can't get a weapon because I am at the max. And it's a good one. Let's see here. Yeah, there's definitely something here in the center. I've become more and more certain that there's something in the center. This... It's just, it feels too... a little too obvious. We want to go this way, because this seems... I just noticed how we now have over 500 health. Thank you for the Luma redeem. Yes, that just plays some Luma sound effect. So we want to go this way. Here, this is where we want. Right there. Oh, that's a lot of power eggs. Unfortunately, we're not in a level where we need power eggs. That is why we, you know, that's why I try to save that attack. Because there are certain situations where it's very useful, and I don't want to, you know, waste it on things I could just get with my normal attacks. I don't know if we've seen rails yet in Raiders. There might have been rails, but I can't think of any off the top of my head. I am not having a skill issue at all. This is... And you know, any claims that I am having a skill issue are misinformation that should be ignored. I didn't realize that some of these treasures get upgraded. Ooh, this is interesting. Okay then, so we're now doing it with Fry. Nope, no more upgrades, no upgrades here. Are you kidding me? The whole thing that I was trying not to do. I have been doing good. Right now, I'm just kind of trying to mess with my equipment to make sure that everything is all fine. 2,200. That's a bit higher than the normal average, but my guess is that the reason it's higher is because more of these enemies drop the mega power eggs. And so they want you to defeat more of these. There we go. There's all the... I like how we're just first trying a lot of levels or beating levels very quickly. When earlier in stream I was genuinely struggling with levels. When do we reach the point where we unlock the level 3 hideout ship? This is probably going to be easier than whatever the mystery level is that I presently do not know. Huh? This is a bit... I'm a bit confused as to what on earth I am supposed to be doing. How am I supposed to... Oh. Nope, I can't ink the walls. This one... I don't know how one does that. I'll give it one more try before the ads, but this one might stop me. There we go. We figured out just in time for the ads. Like, the ads are probably going to start, like, right as I return. Okay. So, see you all when the ads are over. And we are back. So now it's time to do the mystery level. The one that apparently we are forced to use Fry. This I can tell that this is going to be a boss fight of some kind. There we go. Now we just need to keep... It really can just deal that much damage. Ooh, we're gonna be able to get an upgrade of our choice. That's nice. Boy, is this boss not easy to defeat. We need power eggs wherever we can get them. We're already halfway there. And we defeated that boss. Indeed, Fry, the treasure is ours. I foresaw that. And I haven't even seen anything for this game. That's why we want to check that, is just because we need to make sure. Because that gives us more shards, and we need a lot of shards for a lot of different things. Ooh, we can upgrade this. We now have an even bigger test range. Moving target. Of course I have enough to develop this one, because, you know, why wouldn't I? I have enough shards I can develop those. But I don't have anywhere near enough. I should honestly just not even bother with these, because I don't have everything. I can... The glass bottle splatter shot. I know there's more stuff we could get there, but I'm not even gonna... Now it lets me zoom out all the way. So, we need to complete... We're probably gonna have to complete the whole loop before it's gonna let me access whatever's in there. Where's the level 23 Salmonoid? That's probably one of the levels for the harder versions of the levels that we're not doing for a lot of reasons. You know, one thing that is interesting about this game is the playable character is known as the mechanic, but in the other story modes that in the Splatoon series, the playable character is agent and then some number. In Splatoon 1 and 3, the player is Agent 3. In Splatoon 2, they're Agent 4. And then in Octo Expansion and Side Order, we play as Agent 8. Now, for those that probably do not know Splatoon lore, since I know some parts of my audience have probably never even played a Splatoon game. The reason you aren't Agent 1 or 2 is because, Agent 1 is Callie, and Agent 2 is Marie. Though who Agents 5 through 7 are, the games have never commented on that. And I actually don't think that there is an agent with those numbers, at least officially. And for various reasons, I do not think that Shiver, Fry, and Big Man are agents in any way canonically, because in Splatoon 3, Shiver, Fry, and Big Man are antagonists. Now maybe Pearl and Marina are secretly Agents 5 and 6. It's never really canonically been confirmed. Of course, now I suddenly have by executive decision, I'm going to let's see, umbrellas. And the reason I'm doing this is because those are weapon types I don't like. I am really bad with chargers and blasters in every single Splatoon game. And so I don't need to have an excess number of either. It's just a waste of... It's just kind of wasteful, in my opinion. I'll still make sure I have one of each weapon type. But I'm not going to have more than that. Now, I will have a lot of an excess of the shooters and dually types. Because I actually use those types and am at least somewhat proficient with them. Now, 4,000 power eggs is a lot. It does kind of make me wonder what exactly they plan for us to do to get that many. I mean, we're already almost halfway there, so we can... We only need 1,500 more. I guess more closer to 1,400. But... A 3-star weapon, that's pretty good. Three-star weapons are ones we definitely want to keep. Wait, there's secretly more stuff? I need like 500 more. Because I don't need to worry about anything else, I can just beat the level. I'm gonna go do that now. Another successful raid. Let me just... We're gonna develop another gadget. We'll do this one next. Hmm. There we go. Okay, let me make sure I see everything. Okay, so that's just a loop. Where will this send us? Okay, this sends us somewhere that's actually useful instead of just looping us around. We need to defeat the enemy that's firing all the missiles at us. Because that is the official term. Another compass? How many compasses are there in this game? We're getting a lot of shards from this level. I will take that into account, even though I don't know if I have a, like, the Splattershot Junior per se, because this game had some interesting choices for weapons. If this was Splatoon 3, I would be able to do that very easily. Let's see here. So... because I value my sanity, I am going to interpret your choice to mean the Waterwing Splattershot Jr. I think you're probably okay with this, but, you know, just to be sure. Because you could, you know, make me use a different weapon. You could theoretically make me use the level 1 weapon, but no. So how this is going to work is... I will give this weapon, like... I will use it for either 1 raid or, like, 3 attempts. Whichever occurs first. And then I'm going to switch back to my preferred dualies. So you'll at least get 1 raid with this weapon. Thank you for the GGs. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to start using the tactical. Come on, anything? Now I'm going to... No, what do I want to use? I'm going to go back to... Oh wait, I realized I have a much better weapon than what I had. The compasses are definitely reacting to something. That's for sure. And then that is, just the latest episode of me messing up the end of a raid that was very much doable for us. This is a normal ink rail, and this is a... I don't know what... This is the one that you're allowed to, like, stand on and stuff. I don't remember what that rail is called, because, why would I remember anything? It's a ride rail, of course. I knew it was something that I was going to feel not exactly the best about when I learned what the answer was. So, this will probably be the last thing we attempt for this stream, regardless of how good or bad it goes. And there goes that attempt. So let's see. Who could I plausibly raid? See a good option already. Okay, I think I know who I am going to raid. We're going to raid somebody who I shouted out earlier during the stream, A-Dylite. So here are the raid messages for everyone, and until next time, bye!